Hey everybody, Jared here, and today we're talking about AWS. So I'm going to show you some basics on getting started with AWS, setting up your initial computer network with AWS on the cloud, and then in the second video that we're going to do is going to be a two-parter. We're going to talk about AWS Cloudwatch and getting set up with a really cool security dashboard on there so you can monitor security events. So first off, let me kick this off here, and we'll take a look at getting started. So I'll just make myself a little bit smaller. This is the console home in AWS. I have some of my recently visited things here. We are going to actually look up, our first thing is going to be setting up a VPC. But what is a VPC? Let me pull up just a quick graphic that I created for you guys. This explains a little bit of how the AWS cloud is set up. First off, you have just like the AWS cloud, all the general huge network there. Then from there, you're going to create your own VPC, which is kind of like your own little network, and you could work within that network. And we're going to create a private subnet today, and we're also going to create a public subnet. Okay, so the public subnet is going to be able to access out into the internet. We're going to show you guys how to do that. And then the private subnet, that one is going to be able to do the same thing. Well, it's going to be able to access the internet, but the cool thing about the way that we could set this up here with AWS is our private subnet can actually be protected from any incoming internet requests. So we're going to show you how to do that. But this is kind of the basic setup of what we're doing today. All right, so we have our two servers that we're going to get going. And let's get rocking. All right, so first we're going to set up the VPC. So just type in VPC into the search. We're going to pull this up, and we're going to go ahead and set up a VPC. So click on VPC here, create VPC. Okay, I'm going to add in a tag name here, and my tag name is going to be VPC demo. Okay. We are going to set a CIDR note here, so we're going to do 10.0.0.0/16. All right, so that should give us enough IP addresses to use for our network, and that's really going to be it for getting the VPC set up. So we're going to click Create VPC. That's going to get that going for us. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create two subnets, and the subnet you could sort of think of as like a post address. If mail is going to your house, you have to have the right address for a person to be able to deliver it. So let's go ahead and set that up next. So let me just move this over. We're going to click on subnets, and then we're going to create subnets. All right, so I'm going to select my demo VPC, and then let's go ahead and create a subnet. So the first one, let's do private, private demo. So our private demo subnet. Availability zones, this is where your subnet is going to reside, so it will be available based on the availability on the availability zone, which is kind of confusing, but Amazon basically has a ton of availability zones built in across the United States, across the world, and you're kind of tied into whichever one you pick here, and that's going to give you your access to your computer system here. So what some people will do for better reliability is they will have a couple availability zones that their network is tied into, so if one is down, then they'll be able to access the other one. So we're going to go ahead and just select one. It doesn't really matter for us in this demo. We're going to go ahead and set the CIDR block here to 10.0.0.0/24. So that should give us enough IPs here, 256. And then that should be it for this private subnet that we're setting up. So I'm going to add two. We could do them both at the same time here. So that one was the private. I'm going to do the public one here. Public demo. We'll go ahead and set the availability zone here, and then we'll set the CIDR. 0.0.0.24. Okay, and then I'm going to just create. Oh, okay, already using those, so I got to just change that for another computer. All right, so create the subnets. Okay, so now we have our subnet set up. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and add in a couple servers into these subnets. So next we're going to go to the EC2 area here, so EC2 dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and launch an instance. Okay, so this is the first web server that we're going to do. We're going to make this one, let's do the public one first. Public demo, public server demo. Okay, public server demo, and then we're going to just scroll down. This is a free machine that we can get, so we're going to take that one. Same thing here, so we're fine. Key pair. All right, so you are going to have to create, if you do not have one, an SSH key pair so you could SSH into the system. So we're going to either create one or pick one. I already have one here, so I'm just going to select that secure key that I already created. Okay, and then we're going to select our security group for our VPC. Okay, now we're going to create a new one. We're going to create a new one here. So, forget that I said that, but we are going to edit this field. Okay, so we entered in the secure key. Now we're going down here to select our VPC that we want to add this into. So it's going to be this demo VPC that we're using. Okay, and for the public one, you're going to pay attention here to this next part, subnet. We're going to select the public one for the public, right? And then for auto-assigned public IP, for the public one, we're going to enable this, all right? Because we want to have a public IP, we want to be able to go out to the internet, all that fun stuff. So we'll change the security group name here to public group demo. All right, there we go. All right, as we scroll down, we can see some other prompts here. We have SSH available, TCP and port 22. So that's fine. You don't really need to mess with any of that. Advanced details will look here. And I think that's going to be it here for us. Okay. Okay, so then we're going to launch the instance here. All right, so successful launch. We could go to our instances, and now we can see our demo server that we just set up here. Public server demo. So now let's do that for the private server. It's basically the same, but we're just going to change a couple of the settings in here. So we'll say private server demo. Okay, and then we're just going to check here. Same stuff for the computers that we're using. Key pair, use that same one. Secure key that I already created. You can just click here to create a new key pair if you don't have one already. Then I'm going to go ahead and add this to my demo VPC, and this is kind of the difference that we're going to really look at here. So this is going to be private demo that we're going to want to set this over to, and then we're also going to want to set this to disable, or just leave it as it is. So that's going to find our subnet here for private, and then that's going to disable any public IP. So this is only going to have a private IP address here. And then this one's going to be, I forgot what we named, or the kind of way that we named that one, but I'll say set group private demo. Okay, so we're fine there. SSH, advanced details. Let's see, that we shouldn't need to change anything in the advanced details for this one. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and launch this. View all instances, and boom, we have our private server demo and public server. These are just some other ones that I was playing with, so don't worry about those ones. We're only going to work with the private server and then the public server. Okay, so now we have our server set up. What we need to do now is set up a way for us to connect out to the internet. So the way that works here in AWS is through a gateway. So we're going to, that's not going to work. Internet gateway. Okay. So we'll go ahead and set up our internet gateway here, and we're going to attach this to our VPC. So create name tag is going to be internet gateway demo. Okay, and that should be fine. I'm going to create that internet gateway. Okay, and then we're going to, over at the top, so it doesn't automatically attach to your VPC. If you see here, we have the following gateway was created. We're going to go ahead and attach this to our VPC. We're going to select our VPC. Okay, awesome. We have our internet gateway set up. Now, we're going to have to just do a couple other things to get this thing to go live. And what we'll have to do basically is set some rules to allow our system to connect to the internet. So let's go back over to our diagram real quick, and we can take a look at kind of where we're at right now. We have our VPC set up. We have our private and public subnet set up with a server inside of each one of them. Next, we're going to go into the route tables, and we're going to specify what routes are available for each one of these systems here. So we're going to do it a little different for the public and for the private. So I'll show you that, but basically we're going to set up the private with a little bit more security so it can only reach out to the internet, but it won't be able to come back. And we're going to do that with a NAT gateway. That's going to be next, but first let's take a look at these route tables, and we'll get that all set up first. So I'm going to go to the route table section here, and then I'm going to create a new route table. This one's going to be public route demo, and then I'm going to select my VPC. Go ahead and create that. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to go in and create the private one. Private table demo, and then we'll select that with the VPC. Let me go ahead and create that route. Okay, so now we have our route table set up. Let's mess with the public route first, and we'll get that one access to the internet right away. So I'm going to go in here to the public route table. I'm going to associate my subnet with this one. So I'm going to go to the Edit Subnet Associations, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my public one on there. Boom. And I am going to edit the route now. So we have this one local route here, so you could talk between our two subnets, but we want to allow access to the internet, so we're going to add in this route. We're going to include all IPs here. We're going to go to the internet gateway, and we're going to select that internet gateway that we set up. So I'm going to save changes, and now we should be able to connect to the internet. So let's go test that. Go back to our EC2 environment, and we're going to go ahead and load up that instance. Our public server. We're going to go ahead and connect to this one, and it should connect. All right, so we have a connection here. Awesome. Okay, so the first part is done. We're able to connect out to the internet from our public server, and now we're going to go ahead and set up that private server. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up a NAT gateway. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and launch an instance, and we're going to go ahead and call this one our NAT gateway demo 1, and we're going to go ahead and just scroll through here, create basic computer or key pair. We're going to select that one for the security key 1 that I already had. I'm going to go ahead and change this over to our VPC, and then we are going to make this a private. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We are going, we're going to make this one private, but we're going to add it into the public subnet. So go ahead and make this instance private, and then the next part I'll show you where we'll have to put it into the public subnet. So I'm going to say here, this one is going to be the, what do I call it here, NAT Gateway Demo 1. NAT Gateway Demo 1, all right. Okay, so I'm going to launch this instance. Just wait a second here for it to load up. Okay, next we're going to go in and we're going to create that NAT gateway. So go back to the VPC area, and then if you look over here on the left, you'll be able to see NAT gateways. All right, so I'm going to do a new NAT gateway for our demo, NAT demo 1, and I'm going to choose this subnet, which is going to be our public subnet. Okay, allocate elastic IP, and then we're going to go ahead and create that. Okay, so we have our NAT gateway set up. We are all good there. Let's go back to the route table and let's direct our private subnet to this route table via the route table to our NAT gateway. All right, so let's go here to the demo. So private table demo. Yeah, I guess that's what I called it. Yeah, okay. I just named them two different things. Okay, I wasn't thinking. But that's fine. First, let's associate our subnet, okay, to the private. Okay. And then we are going to go ahead and edit the route. So we're going to direct this route, same thing here, all traffic here, and then that's going to go to our NAT gateway. We'll select the one that we just did, NAT gateway demo 1. We'll save the changes, and we should be able to connect now out to the internet. So let's test it, of course. Let's go to our EC2 instance that we just opened here. So let's go back over to our instance here, our public instance. But before we can do this, before we can connect to the internet, we have to basically, well, we've already connected on our private machine. Now we want to connect our public machine through this NAT gateway to the internet. So before we do that, we're going to have to set up an SSH key to allow us access into our private subnet. So to do that, I'm going to pull up my command line, and I'm going to go ahead and add the key in with this SCP code. Okay, so this SCP code indicates that we're adding in a key. This from somewhere on our local system. We have this I, which is the location of the key. It's a secure key 1. This is the file we're going to copy, and then this is the location that we're going to copy it to. So let's go ahead and do that, and we see our key has been loaded up there. Now let's go back to our public system, and let's just ls. Now we can see our secure key listed out there. So let's now let's SSH into our system here. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to do SSH, this I, and we're going to add in our secure key, .pem, and then we are going to add in the IP address. So this one's going to be EC2 user at 10.0.2.230. All right. So we have a permission denied. Our security key has some type of unprotected issue. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to basically update the security in here. So chmod 400, and then we're going to find our security key. All right. So now we should be able to run that command again, and it should work. Boom, we're in. So now we're logged in to this private server. Now let's test the internet on this one. I'm going to go ahead and ping 8888. See if that works. All right, we're getting information back. So we are online, baby. And that's basically it. That's how you connect this whole system together, get it online and up and running. So let me know if you guys have any questions. It was fun to get this going with you guys. And yeah, you guys have a great day. Look forward to part 2, where we set up a security environment in cloud security, Amazon Cloud.